You know, something big is happening in the crowded skies over South Asia. A really dramatic power shift is quietly underway. We're talking about Bangladesh, and they're in the middle of a multi-billion-dollar overhaul of their military, snapping up some of the most advanced fighter jets and attack helicopters from Europe and Turkey. And this is way more than just a shopping spree. It's a huge, calculated move that's literally redrawing the strategic map of the entire region.
So, the big question is, why? Why these particular weapons, and why now? Well, the answer isn't just about military strength. It's actually a fascinating story of geopolitical chess, of some really calculated risks, and a nation's determined push for its own self-reliance. All right, before we dive into the grand strategy, the big why, let's first take a look at the hardware itself, because the items on Bangladesh's shopping list are, frankly, seriously impressive, and each one tells a little part of this bigger story.
I mean, just look at the ambition here. We're talking about a full squadron of 10 Eurofighter Typhoons. That's a top-tier European multi-role fighter. Then, add at least 6 Turkish T129 ATAK attack helicopters, the advanced Hisar air defense system, and the Cirit smart missiles. And get this, the deal with Turkey for just the helicopters and air defense system is worth around $600 million.
Okay, so the Eurofighter Typhoon. This is the real crown jewel of the whole upgrade. For the Bangladesh Air Force, it's like skipping 3 generations of technology, pretty much overnight. They're jumping from an old fleet of Russian MiGs and Chinese F-7s straight into the elite world of network-centric European air combat. This isn't just about getting a faster jet, it's about adopting a completely new way of thinking about air warfare.
Now, backing up the high-flying Typhoon is the T129 ATAK. You can think of this as the muscle down on the ground. It's a rugged, super agile gunship built for getting down low, providing close air support, and delivering surgical strikes. It's practically tailor-made for Bangladesh's tough terrain, whether that means navigating winding river deltas or hugging the treetops in the dense Chittagong hill tract.
And in case you're thinking this is all just talk, well, here's the proof. This right here is the official tender notice from Bangladesh's Defense Procurement Agency for the Cirit laser-guided weapon system. The paperwork is real, the process is in motion, and it grounds this entire story in undeniable fact. To really get the strategy here, we need to zoom in on one specific piece of tech, the Turkish-made Cirit smart missile. Because this one weapon perfectly explains the why that's driving this entire modernization.
So before the Cirit missile came along, the Bangladesh Air Force had a classic tactical problem. On one hand, they could use unguided rockets. They're cheap and great for covering a wide area, but they're also wildly inaccurate. On the other hand, they could use sophisticated anti-tank guided missiles, incredibly precise, but also incredibly expensive. There was this huge, risky gap right in the middle.
And that's exactly where the Cirit comes in. It was, as the source material puts it, literally designed to fill the tactical gap between those two extremes. It gives you that surgical precision without the astronomical price tag of a heavy anti-tank missile. It's the perfect, cost-effective middle ground. Now, don't mistake cost-effective for weak. This missile is seriously effective. From 8 kilometers away, it can reliably hit a target that's just 3 meters wide. Just imagine having the ability to precisely strike a light armored vehicle or a specific window in a building from that kind of distance. That's not just an improvement, that's a tactical game changer. But here's the really smart part about this purchase: the missile's versatility. It's not just for helicopters. The Cirit can be mounted on drones, on naval ships, even land vehicles. In fact, Bangladesh is already using these missiles on its Falco drones. This incredible flexibility means they get the maximum bang for their buck by standardizing a key weapon across multiple branches of their military.
Now, a smart weapon like the Cirit isn't just bought in isolation. It's one piece of a much, much larger puzzle. All of these high-tech purchases are driven by a single ambitious national strategy, a master plan known as Forces Goal 2030.
So, what is Forces Goal 2030? Well, it's basically the blueprint for the future of Bangladesh's military. It's a massive, long-term program to modernize everything: the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. The whole point is to build what planners call a 3-dimensional force, one that can dominate on land, at sea, and in the air, using the best technology they can get their hands on.
And you have to understand, this isn't some new, fleeting idea. Forces Goal 2030 was launched way back in 2009. It got an update in 2017, and even after a major political transition in 2024, the plan was revitalized and put on the fast track. That tells you something, right? This is a core national security strategy that goes beyond politics, and it's being pursued now with more urgency than ever.
And this brings us to the absolute core of Forces Goal 2030. And it's not just about getting shiny new toys. The number one goal is achieving strategic autonomy. You see, for decades, Bangladesh has been overwhelmingly dependent on China for its military gear. This whole plan is a calculated, deliberate pivot to diversify its suppliers so that it's never beholden to any single nation.
Okay, so a multi-billion-dollar strategic pivot like this, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It sends shockwaves across the entire region. So let's look at the ripple effect, because this is where the story gets really interesting, and maybe a lot more dangerous.
Just look at how this one move reshuffles the deck for every major player. For Bangladesh, this is a classic case of autonomy posturing, flexing its independence. For its massive neighbor, India, well, this is a new headache. It creates a real challenge to its air superiority in the east. For Turkey, this is a huge win, both commercial and strategic, planting its flag firmly in the South Asian arms market. And for China, its cozy position as Dhaka's go-to weapon supplier is suddenly looking a lot less secure. What this really shows is an incredibly pragmatic and deliberate balancing act. See, Dhaka isn't just dumping China. It's playing the field. It's using China for sheer volume, turning to Turkey for cutting-edge tech that has no political strings attached, and then looking to Europe for the absolute high-end systems, like the Eurofighter. It's really a masterclass in maximizing your military power while minimizing your political dependency.
So what's the ultimate military result of all this? Well, in simple terms, it makes Bangladesh a much tougher nut to crack. By building a modern, layered, and technologically diverse force, it fundamentally, and this is a great phrase, complicates any adversary's operational calculus. It just dramatically raises the cost of any potential aggression, creating a real, credible deterrent to defend its sovereignty.
All of this leaves us with one final critical question. As Bangladesh's military transforms, and as the skies over South Asia fill up with next-generation hardware, will this sophisticated balancing act actually create a more stable region? Or has Dhaka just inadvertently fired the starting gun on a dangerous new arms race? The answer to that is probably going to define the future of South Asian security.